Hi guys, in this video I thought I would combine some of the chords that you have already been practicing and that I've taught you to play one of Oasis's well-known songs, which is Live Forever. It's a personal favourite of mine and one of the songs that I first learned when I picked up the guitar. I thought I'd just run through the chord sequences with you because they are pretty simple and it's quite a good combination to put together. So the very first one is the G. So I think what I showed previously is the stepping stone chord, like the stepping stone version of the G, which is just the second finger on the second fret of the A, third finger on the third fret of the E, which is the G, and that just does the G. But if you want the full chord of the G, you need to get your pinky finger, and then what you're going to be doing is putting it on the third fret of the high E string, so which is going to be the G string, funnily enough. The G note, which is the same as the low G on the E string. So you're back, because you get the same sound on the low E and the high E. So low E, high E, with both E strings. If you just go to the first fret of the F, and then the same for the first of the high and up. They're all the same notes, so it just creates that more sort of fuller, sort of like G chord. So like I said, second finger on the second fret of the A, and then the third finger on the G of the E string, and then your pinky on the high E. And that's the opening chord for Live Forever. And then what we're going to be doing is you sort of do a down up motion, so you just sort of get used to that sort of motion. Nice gentle hands, like if you do your warm-up exercises, make sure you're nice and comfortable and relaxed. And then we're going to be going down, to switch to the D. So switching to the D chord is going to be your second finger on the second fret of the E. So you just had your pinky on the third, but you want your second finger here. You want your first finger on the second fret of the G, and then your third finger is going to be on the third fret of the B string. Okay, and then you're going to be playing from the root note, which is the D. That's the sort of D major, sort of happy sounding chord. So it's going to be down. Notice to that little lick there with my pinky, which is going to be going back to the G. So you're sort of lifting it on and off. Open, sort of back up, and so it gives me enough time to sort of like go to the next chord, which is kind of like, I'm not entirely sure, it's a C7 possibly. It's kind of like a variation of the C chord, but you want your first finger on the first fret of the B string, and then you want, it's as if you're playing a C chord, your second finger on the second fret of the D, and then you're just going to be playing the open A. And that's the chord that we want. Then you go to the C, so you put your third finger on the third fret, so you are actually doing a C chord, so it's kind of like from a C sort of 7. And then what I do is move my second finger from that, it's a very quick change. Do that again. Back to G. You do it twice through. D. to the E minor, so the very first chord that I showed you. But there's a little bit of a lick here as well, again with your pinky, so. And you're putting your pinky on the 3rd fret of the B string. So, but not to start with, it's like keep your fingers up for that E minor. So it's 1 strum of the E. Back to D. C7 to C, back to E, D, now big one here is the F. Now if you remember, the F is kind of like the C, so the transition from the C to the F should be relatively straightforward. But will take a bit of practice. You can either go from the F or you can go to a bar. I think to my ear it sounds better if you just go to the F chord. So just to remind you, you're going from your C, and then what you want to do is move your 2nd finger to the 2nd fret of the G, like that. So you're just moving it down 1 or up 1, however you're looking at it. And then you want to move your C, and then you're moving it down 1, and then what you're doing, you're using your pinky to go on the 3rd fret of the D string, and then you want to keep your 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the A. And then when I'm doing that, sort of just moving my finger back to the G. Again. And the outro is back to that C7 to the F. Doesn't sound right with the F, the full F, I think. You've got Noel Gallagher's amazing solo, which I'm not going to do. I'll say that for another time. Yeah, I hope you found that useful. I absolutely love Oasis. I love their structures. I think they're the best songs for learning, especially on the acoustic guitar. It's how Noel Gallagher sort of learnt it as well. Wrote these amazing songs, so why not try it yourself? Please like, comment, subscribe. If you've got any suggestions for anything else you'd like to me to do a video on, and even if there's anything I'm doing wrong, which is absolutely fine, I will take criticism. But this is for beginners, and if you are a beginner watching, I hope you find this useful. Thanks very much, and speak to you next time. Bye.